Synth Fire. We're here with MADHATTER.
Yeah.
All right, so how was music a part of your life growing up?
It was everything, honestly. I started playing saxophone and guitar at 7, 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I was doing that all the way pretty much through high school. I was all-state sax player in high school. I was drum major in marching band for 2 years. So very classical and kind of strict, disciplined music upbringing. I was an EDM hater for a long time.
Really?
Yeah, the EDM wasn't even a term. I was still calling it techno, or hardstyle was really big at the time. I kind of started hating on it, and I was a different kind of musician. You know?
Did you think that you wanted to stay classical then, if that's how you grew up, and that's why you're kind of like EDM? No.
There was a moment in time I can definitely recall just being like, I don't understand that. I don't get it. You know, I wasn't mature in my musical horizons yet, you know. But there was definitely a point in time where I was just like, never, ever.
How did you first start producing music? Was there a song that you heard that you knew you wanted to start? Was there an artist that you really liked?
So I was playing in reggae bands my freshman year in college, and I was kind of getting into it just because of the party scene at Texas State, house parties and all that.
Yeah.
But he had just put out that Damian Marley Make It Bundem track or whatever, and I was really into reggae, and that was the perfect time to be fused between, you know, EDM and, you know, something I could relate to at the time. And I would definitely, Skrillex did all this 100%. You know, I'm not embarrassed to say, but I feel like everybody has the one person that pushed them over the edge that they just always refer back to, you know.
Yeah.
And a girl I was dating at the time just kind of dragged me out to the Skrillex shows. My first EDM show ever was Porter, Alvin Risk, and Skrillex.
What?
Yeah,
Wait, what was that?
In New Braunfels, Texas. It was the second Mothership tour.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I was totally blown away. You know, just the music was theoretically, you know, stimulating and kind of stimulating my musical side, but also I was just like, what the hell is this stuff? You know, I don't know what this is, but that was specifically the turning point that did it for me. It was the Skrillex show.
So how did you create the name MADHATTER? Was that something that you always knew that you wanted, or?
I mean, so I was in a bunch of different band projects and stuff growing up, and I always wanted to be the Mad Hatters. I had this whole album art drawn up in my notebook and all that. Yeah. And you know, when I started producing, I was just kind of like, man, screw them. I'll be Mad Hatter.
It works.
You know, it wasn't like a different. You know, I went for the Alice in Wonderland thing. I just always there was a little shop, like a coffee shop called the Mad Hatters, right by King William Street.
Where?
In San Antonio,
okay.
Like right downtown.
That you went
I'm pretty
to like
sure
every
that's
day.
where I got the name from, back at it. But yeah, I didn't go into it with any kind of idea. It was more just kind of like resentment, like, man, fuck them. I'm gonna be Mad Hatter. You know?
I'm gonna show them that I'm gonna be Mad Hatter.
It's all good.
What is your vision for Mad Hatter then?
Right now, I wouldn't say there's any kind of end game really, but it's just being sustenance and just kind of sustaining itself as a brand and as a project. It could go any direction, honestly, but right now my next kind of checkpoint is going to be being a regular, just waking up and producing and worrying about, you know, where I'm going this weekend. You know, that's the point I'm very close to, I feel like. You know, but I wouldn't say there's any kind of final destination or anything with any of it. Not at all.
From where did you draw your inspiration for your music?
Skrillex, obviously. You know, Kill the Noise was a very, like, sound design wise, I really was pretty stimulated by a lot of his experimental, you know, kind of tactics, but still able to make it as big as it was. I would say Kill the Noise is probably a huge influence, but I also take a lot of influence from like punk bands and metal bands and stuff too. The Story So Far, huge influence on me, but it's pop punk, you know, like they're not even remotely involved with the EDM scene at all. And I would say most of my inspirations are just from who I was kind of coming up, you know, and how I can use those feelings and that kind of energy and capitalize on it now. Yeah, exactly.
So growing up, you listened to mostly like punk bands, like stuff like that. That kind of
very aggressive stuff for sure.
How would you describe your sound without using any genres?
I always say just kind of like like a Wookiee James Bond.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you know, there's like a Wook and James Bond, and they had a child.
Yeah.
Like it's like this classy, kind of out of the box vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for.
What would you say is a challenge that you've had to face while becoming a DJ?
Picking your battles, knowing, you know, trying to learn to follow your gut and not acting strictly off of emotion or money, you know, using more logic that I've been taught growing up as a kid, as opposed to all the outside influences deciding for me.
Yeah.
And that I would say that's the biggest one, is just kind of learning what is the right thing to invest my time into, and what's not, and you know, just learning to stick with your decisions and not be so wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Because I think that's more detrimental than doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
You know?
You just got to listen to your gut and pretty much go with it. Don't change your mind.
Yeah, and it's just rock it. You know, even if it's a mistake, it can still be a learning experience for you in the future.
Oh, always.
You know, because in my mind, anything that's happened doesn't really matter, but what matters is how the next time something like that comes around, how you change and move forward.
Are you going to make the same decision, or are you actually going to listen to your gut? Is this why it's happening again? All that kind of stuff.
That's the biggest challenge for me.
Can you take me through your process while producing a track?
Man, there's just so many different ways I've made music, but it usually starts with just one sound or chord or something. It's nothing like I start the same track every way. But I kind of do
whatever
the same
you find
thing.
first.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll start on a drop or just the intro left to right. It's different every time, but I take a lot of influence from things that are not EDM. You know, I take a lot of influence, like Mr. Christopher. He'll just walk around the city with a microphone recording.
Wait, really?
Yeah, for real. And that's, you know, I've done some stuff like that, but I really just kind of draw from influences of like my day or my week and try to incorporate those things. That way it's like when the track comes out, it's kind of like a reflection of what happened the past month or something.
Yeah, so it's like really yourself more than people actually know that it is.
Yeah, and I feel like that's harder to sell sometimes, but it means more to me.
But they'll get it. If they're your fans and they follow you, they'll be like, oh yeah, like I knew that was kind of what his vibe was.
Exactly, yeah.
How long would you say it takes you to create and finish producing a new original?
On average, probably about 2.5 weeks, I would say. But some tracks take months. Other tracks I'll do it overnight, basically. You know, but to full, you know, seal the track done, I would say on average probably about 2.5 weeks of really investing, you know, most of my time into that original idea. You know, and I'll probably be doing that with 2 or 3 different original ideas at a time. So I'll finish 2 or 3 tracks in 1 week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What digital audio workstation do you like to use?
Ableton, all day.
Okay.
Ableton.
So that's what you first started with. That's what you've always done, and you've never really.
I started with FL Studio, YouTube, FL Studio, and Ableton came out right around my 19th birthday. So I just asked for that for my birthday, and kind of haven't looked back. I used Pro Tools a lot in college, studying sound recording at Texas State. So I got really good with Pro Tools, but I hate Pro Tools. I know how to use it. I just, for what I'm doing right now, there's just not anything I couldn't do in Ableton.
Yeah.
It's just personal
easier
kind of semantics at that point. Yeah.
What's your studio setup like? Like, can you describe your gear, monitors?
So at home, I just have a 49-key MIDI keyboard. On my laptop or my iMac, I have 2 computers. Just two small 5-inch monitors, but I make a lot of music at Dub Academy, where I teach Ableton and CDJs. So I'm grateful that they let me use their studio pretty much any time. And they have like 2 pairs of Genelecs. I think that's what they're called, Genelecs. I don't remember. Those are a new speaker to me, but they sound great. They have a sub in there, much more tuned and appropriate than my house. But I do most of my mixing there. Most of my writing and creating I do in my bed with my dog, for the most part, on headphones or laptop speakers.
Where you're comfortable and you're kind of ready to just put it out. Collaboration has been great for you. We've worked with so many artists like Blaze, Emmy Swing, Boogie T.
Boys.
When you and Black Sheep produced Rapture 2 years ago, what expectations did you have for that track?
Honestly, that was the first track I did over the internet. We did it over Skype. We had never met in person.
Really?
We'd really just been internet friends for about maybe a year at that point. And it just, I don't know, it just kind of happened like, hey, I'm sitting on this, like, what do you think? And it was a little rushed, in my opinion. We both think that. We talked about it before, like, we could do better. You know, especially now, we know so much more, way better grasp on our skills. But that was my first kind of experimental collaboration with someone I didn't know. So I wouldn't say necessarily I expected anything, but still, you know, we still had an idea that we wanted to get this done, you know? And I think it had both, you know, of our flavors, an equal amount of our flavors at the time, for sure.
So it's a pretty good mix of everyone.
For sure.
50-50.
Who we were at that time, definitely.
Who are some of your favorite DJs in the scene right now, and why did you choose them?
I'll just do like 2 or 3. This guy, Jackknife, I think he's out of Australia. He's more along kind of like the mid-tempo and house vibe, but his sound design is just off the charts, in my opinion. I could tell someone who does this regularly that he knows what he's doing. He sits down and puts a lot of effort into, you know, the product he's trying to make. Man, there's so many, honestly. Taboo, he's playing later tonight, 100%.
I think he plays right after you?
Yeah, he's headlining tonight. And absolutely, one of the dudes pushing the envelope as far as the next, you know, the evolution of what EDM is and the standard, you know. Probably 1788.
Okay.
I knew him before he was 1788.
Wait, really?
And we were friends before anything, you know. And
before
we really,
either of you knew that you wanted to pursue this?
Yeah. Well, no, he was doing a different alias at the time.
Okay.
But we were friends, like, kind of on a musical level, and seeing him change and grow from something we talked about to him, you know, doing it, you know, everything we almost joked about, you know. And same on my end too. It's like stuff we were joking about a while ago is kind of coming to fruition, and you know, it's really inspiring to see somebody, you know, you personally relate to, you know, rocking themselves that hard, and also, you know, pushing the musical boundary, the musical horizon of what people are used to, what people expect. Those 3 for sure would hit the top of my list 100%.
You're a pretty young DJ to the scene. What's your next big thing to accomplish?
Like I said, just sustenance, being sustainable. And I think people recognize like what I'm doing and, you know, are more regular and familiar with what I'm doing, but I've also am a person who's never satisfied. I'm always itching to move forward and just continue pushing the boundary in my personal life and on my own end, but also for other people. I think there's something kind of like a greater mission in like expanding people's musical horizon rather than just like hearing the weirdest sounds. Or I'm very spiritually connected to what I'm doing, and that's kind of the role I think I'm following. As opposed to just trying to sell tickets, or, you know, that's important,
worry about,
you know, now, but it took me kind of doing my own thing on my own for a while
to realize
to start, you know, that's what I'm selling now. It's like what I'm doing. You know?
Would you say that you were like always content but never satisfied?
Still am.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
100%.
Tell me about your Mad Talk podcast.
Gosh, yeah, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress, but like I said, I just started teaching at Dub Academy in Austin, and they're providing so many resources for me to do that the right way, the way I wanted to. And the first episode I did was with Emmy Swank, and we did it in my room, and my dog was like, you know, licking his dick the whole time in the middle of the shot, and, you know, it was...
Oh, it's on YouTube too, right? Okay, yeah. So, I didn't watch the YouTube video yet, but
so,
now
I mean, I like
will.
having a video thing. It's just, you know, something you could put on for whatever, but... it was not exactly how I wanted it, but also I had to kind of put it out there and start doing it to get it rolling, you know? And so now I have all these resources that I can do it the right way, and we have legitimate things that we can bring to the table for artists to want to come talk to us and, you know, kind of open their perspective of what it takes as a creator to be successful. Not even rich and famous or make legendary music, just to be, like I said, sustenance or successful is a very loose term in the industry, I feel like.
I would think that everyone would want to know kind of like what's on your mind, what do you think about this and that. I think everyone would be wanting to know what you guys are up to.
I think there's just a lot they don't tell you, like about the amount of work it takes to
well,
to
nobody can ever hear that much, so I think everyone's just like, oh yeah, he produced this track. I don't think anyone thinks about like how long did this take, like what was his process with it.
There's no way to tell unless you talk to him about it, really. Some people like like Getter's most recent album, he said he worked on it for 20 months or something like that, almost 2 years, and that's insane. That's like nothing like Getter was ever putting out at the time, so just goes to show you like there's a lot more going on besides just what's being sold or being promoted and stuff. And
a lot of background stuff that people just don't see.
I think that would cultivate a creative community a lot easier with kind of just those dark corners in the industry kind of
I definitely think that's something people would want to hear. I mean, it's nothing that they ever hear about anyway. So I think to them that'd be something interesting, since they like their music. They'd want to know like what's going on like in your head behind all this.
I think that helps them appreciate the product a lot more.
What goals do you have for yourself this year?
This year, I want to do probably 4 to 5 festivals, not even as like a super, high late night set or whatever. I want to start breaking out of the Texas market more regularly. And also I want to put this, I have an EP I finished. I want to put that out. I would say just like it's just more content, more of what I'm capable of. And now I have the time to achieve.
So do you think you want to push yourself a little bit more this year now that you know what you can do pretty much?
Absolutely.
Cool.
100%.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's it. Thank you, MADHATTER, for having us here at Glitch Fest. Make sure to follow Synth Fire on social media.